Today I'm going to comment on the 5 most essential elements of your LinkedIn profile. But before I dive into that, I want to talk about the importance of consistently growing your network. So in the years that I've worked with advisors, one of the questions I like to ask is, when it comes to business development, what's the single biggest challenge you have? Most of the answers revolve around one topic: starting more conversations with the type of people I want to do business with. Now, LinkedIn, and specifically LinkedIn Sales Navigator, is awesome for starting new conversations. But before you do that, you have to concentrate on your profile, right? Because that becomes your first impression for a lot of people. That first impression can make or break opportunity. So today I want to talk a little bit about the 5 elements that we really concentrate on when we're helping an advisor establish that brand on LinkedIn. The first is a cover photo. Now we're going to talk about your headshot or your profile photo. Very important is your headline, and then your summary or about section, and your network. Now there's one other element of the profile. There's a box on the right-hand side called People Also Viewed. I want to talk about this and help you turn that off, because that's bad for you. So let's talk about that cover photo. The cover photo is that section of your profile at the very top. For a lot of you, that's default blue, right? That default is something that LinkedIn put in place when they released this element, I don't know, a couple of years ago, right? You can customize that section. We have 3 recommendations when customizing that area of your profile. Number 1, your brand consistency, right? So if you have branding elements on your website that reflect your print materials, that reflect your Facebook page, you could certainly use that cover photo area to create that more brand consistency as you grow your brand on LinkedIn. Second, make it geographical, right? So if you do business locally, most cities are going to have, some kind of standout element, right? Something that's identifiable about that city. For example, in Chicago, maybe it's, the skyline with the Sears Tower and the Lakeshore. In St. Louis, perhaps that's the Arch, right? In San Antonio, I don't know, maybe the Alamo, right? I live in Daytona Beach, so it would either be the Speedway or the world's most famous beach sign, So third, you could let that cover photo establish something about yourself. So if you look at my cover photo, you're going to see a badass picture of a paddleboarder. That paddleboarder is not me, though I do like to paddleboard. I just don't have a photo that cool of myself. So I live on the Florida coast, and if the job doesn't demand, or the family doesn't demand, or if the ocean cooperates, I love to be in the water. That photo has started a lot of conversations in and of itself. So say something about yourself, right? Now, the second thing we concentrate on is that profile photo or headshot. There's 2 things that I really concentrate on with that headshot. Number 1 is that zoomed in enough that people can see what you look like, right? It's a really small format, especially when you're on mobile. So having a photo that's zoomed in close enough that people can see what you look like is really important. Now, second, you need to look approachable, right? We want to create a scenario where people want to talk to you, not be driven away. So I see a lot of headshots, usually done in black and white, that have the arms crossed like this, right? That's not good. Usually it's stern face. I don't know what that's about, right? But it's certainly not, it certainly doesn't make you look approachable. So put a smile on your face. I want people to want to talk to you. Now third, and maybe even the most important element of your profile, is that headline. The headline is 120 characters located below your name on your profile. If you look at mine says Modern Prospecting, helping financial advisors leverage LinkedIn Sales Navigator for client communication and growth. I don't know if that's an exact match to what mine says, but it's something like that. For many of you, it might say Senior Vice President, right, or Financial Advisor. It defaults from the latest experience that you put on your profile. So you've got 120 characters. Use these 120 characters to establish who it is that you work with and the problem you solve, or the value you provide those people. Here's the significance of that headline. When you show up in search anywhere on LinkedIn, before anybody's clicked through to your profile, you're going to show up with 3 elements, right? It's your photo, your name, and your headline. So even if people don't click through to your profile, they're going to be able to see exactly who it is that you work with and the types of things that you do for those people, the service you provide or the problems you solve, okay? So don't underestimate the importance of customizing that headline. Now, the fourth element that we look at is the summary or the about section. You've got 2,000 characters to tell the story of who you are, right? Now, we typically recommend you write this in first person, which is going to make it the difference between an introduction and a biography. Save the biography for the website. Social media is about these person-to-person relationships, right? Now, lead in that summary with a short little paragraph, 2 or 3 sentences about who it is that you work with and the problems you solve for those people. Remember, we've got a very limited opportunity to engage somebody. People's attention span is short. They're on to the next topic very quickly. So when they read about the problems you solve, I want them to identify with those issues, right? I want them to read on. So the next section is about your credibility, the things that make you the expert that you are. That's experience, education, designations, things along those lines. And then when you close down your summary, talk about you, right? People don't do business with experts. They do business with people they like that are experts, right? So we got to give a glimpse as to who you are. How are you involved in your community? What organizations do you support? Talk a little bit about family if you're comfortable with that. Hobbies and interests. What drives you as a person inside and outside the office, right? So when people make the decision of who they're going to work with, oftentimes that decision boils down to who they are as a person, not just who they are as a professional. Now, the fifth element, really important, is your network. I'm not too worried about the number, right? A lot of people want to hinge on that 500 plus. I'm not too worried about that. You'll get there in time, right? What I am worried about is building the right network to start. We want to start with quality, then we're going to add quantity for the types of people that you want to build your business around. So the quality is this. First, remove your competition. So if you're connected to other advisors, disconnect from them. Now, there's exceptions to this. Right? If you're in a recruiting role, of course you've got to be connected to other advisors. If you work collaboratively with somebody outside your firm, of course be connected to that person. But as a rule of thumb, disconnect from your competition. We don't need them seeing who you're interacting with, who you're connected to, the content you're posting, and so on and so forth, right? Now that you've made those disconnections, connect with as many of the four following types of people as you can find, right? Number one, connect with as many of your clients as you can possibly find on LinkedIn. Your clients are often going to be your best advocates, right? Also, as you're connected to them on LinkedIn, you could have an opportunity to communicate with them on that platform, which would greatly complement your already stellar communication plan with your clients. So it's a nice way to complement that client communication. Number two, connect with as many prospects as you can find. Right? I don't care if these are prospects from a week ago or if these are people that you talked to 3 years ago. LinkedIn makes it really easy to rekindle old conversations. So connect with as many prospects as possible. Third, connect with as many of your centers of influence as you can find, right? Those CPAs, estate attorneys, other professional referral resources. Connect with as many of those people as possible. And then finally, this fourth group is a little bit nebulous. I call it other advocates. Right? These are people that you know. Maybe you don't ever see doing business with them, but you got a good trusted relationship with them. Perhaps it's your second cousin, it's a college roommate, it's a former colleague, whoever that is. If you've got a good trusted relationship with them, connect with them. You never know who they're connected to. That could create some opportunity for you. So again, disconnect from your competition, connect with as many clients, prospects, centers of influence, and other advocates as possible. Now, that's the 5 elements that we really concentrate on. Again, your cover photo, your headshot, your headline, your summary, and your network, okay? Now, there's this pesky little section of your profile that when you visit other people's profile, you've probably seen this before. It's on the right-hand side. It says, people also viewed. That's a usability thing for me, right? It's LinkedIn trying to increase my satisfaction with the platform. So when I go look at your profile, they say, Charlie, hey, if you're interested in this person, here's 10 other people that people who have viewed this person also viewed. Here's the problem. For most of you, 7 of those 10 people are going to be your competition. So you're going to spend a bunch of time driving people to your profile to get to know you, and then they're going to have access to other advisors right there in that people also viewed section. Turn that off. Under the drop-down arrow in the top navigation bar, a little section that says Me, you're going to see Settings and Privacy. When you click on Settings and Privacy, the 4th selection down is people of this profile also viewed. you can toggle that to no, and that turns that section off, thereby not giving opportunity for people on your profile to click away to others, right? So that's an important step. Now again, the 5 elements: cover photo, headshot, headline, summary, network. Now that your profile's set up and looking good, it's time to start building your network every single day. It only takes a couple of seconds to go in and connect with the type of people that you want to do business with. And with the right strategy, you're going to be starting a ton of new conversations with the right people in no time. I hope this has been helpful.